I'm in Arizona. I drove out Monday, I think. I don't know, it's been a crazy time. I went to Huachuca City, had to go to Cochise County Courthouse down in Bisbee, did the paperwork for the house and everything, so that's all set now, that's all good. But I just wanted to talk about the MPGs and like this situation with driving out here, because it's like, I swear, it's like I'm going uphill everywhere I go. And every time I come out here, I'm battling wind. And it's just an interesting situation. Again, 32-inch tires, 410 gears, and when I was down near Sierra Vista, if I'm doing under 60, like if I'm doing about 55 miles an hour, and I'm not dealing with a crazy crosswind or headwind, I'm getting 20 miles per gallon or more. No problem. That sweet range is about 40 to 55. And sometimes it could be tickling 30 miles per gallon. No joke. Now, if I'm in a headwind at that speed, it's garbage. I just went past some, I'm doing that right now. I'm doing about 55 miles an hour right now, and I was getting 15. Now I'm at 11. I'm at a little bit of a grade. 12, 13. But I just passed some flags, and the flags were out straight, man, like the flag on the moon. I'm driving into a major wind. If I take my foot off the gas pedal, I'm doing that right now, 50, 45, 40. I mean, the truck, it's going to stop. The truck's going to stop just from the amount of wind that's blowing in my face. It's crazy. So that's just a thing, and it stinks, but all over the the west out here, it's all mountains, so you're up and down and everything else. But if I get into a situation where once I get over 60, 65 and then beyond, it just, everything depends on the road conditions, the elevation, the grade, and the wind, right? It just makes sense. So if I'm going at a pretty good clip, and I'm usually, the speed limit out here is really 75 everywhere, and I was trying to keep it 75 or less for the most part on the way out here. I did get from my house in LA to Quartzsite, the Loves in Quartzsite, and I filled up, and it took 18 gallons. I don't think that was too bad. I was going pretty fast, but that's just how it is. Now, what I'm noticing is, if I get over 75, once I get to like 77, 80 miles an hour or more, I run into a situation, once I get, especially like I'm approaching 80, I'm doing 82, 83, I'm feeling something in the front end there, like a little offness. I just think that maybe the 32-inch tires might be a little bit much for this vehicle at high speed for long periods of time. It's another one of your moments for the day, right? That makes sense. So, by the way, I'm on Old Route 66 now. I'm on my way to Slegman. My brother's place is another 20 minutes or so beyond that. I just decided to get off the highway because I didn't want to drive fast and just... The climb from Phoenix on the 17 to the point where you get to the 40, that's some crazy stuff there. I think I stopped recording. We're still recording. Okay, some weird thing just happened on the screen there. Sorry. My navigation window was up and I couldn't get it off. Anyhow, point is, as I was saying, yeah, I figured I'd save some fuel here, but I'm on a climb now going up a mountain. So also, if I'm going fast, if I'm doing 60 or more, and I hit a grade or I want to pass somebody and I decide to give it a little extra gas, it'll drop down a gear, pick up speed, but that shift to get it back down to fourth, once I reach the speed I want, it's usually a pretty hard shift, and I don't like that. Now, if I'm aware of it and I back my foot off, I can negate the hard shift. It's harder to do that sometimes when there's a lot of other vehicles around, and if you back your foot off, the vehicle's going to slow down a little bit, and it's going to mess you up for navigating the traffic, right? So every situation is a little bit different. So I'm just giving you guys kind of a heads up here with my particular situation. 2004, all-wheel drive Astro van, converted to 4x4 with the S10 transfer, the MP233 transfer case, 4 high, 4 low, shifter through the floor, probably a 7 inches of lift, 32-inch tires, re-geared the 410s, posi traction rear end, coilover shocks in the rear. Coilovers because this thing on the highway with the weight I carry and everything else, it'll do this without the coilovers. And I didn't want to run air shocks anymore because the air shocks, they screw up your articulation when you're off-road. So that's why. What else can I tell you? I think that's pretty much the setup. And I'm okay though with this. So if I know what I'm doing, and it just aggravates me because really every time I come out here, it's just crazy wind out here. It's very rarely no wind. And the wind will just kill you. It'll just kill your gas mileage, unless you're going with the wind. And that never seems to happen for me. The wind is against me. Anyhow, I am going to hang out with my brother tonight, and the plan is to get up early tomorrow. And tomorrow, get to this place here in Death Valley. I'm going to take this Saline Road. And it's going to be like 40 miles. It's the southern route in. There's a warm spring there. And, you know, depending on who these people are, you get different versions of what they think the road conditions are like and whether or not you can do it. And there's a Saline warm spring forum on the computer, and I read about it. And the day before I left, the most recent update was 4 days earlier, and the guy said that the road wasn't that bad. He doesn't have a lot of clearance, and he made it. He suggests you need clearance. Obviously, everybody thinks you need good tires, and four-wheel drive's always good, which I have. But some people are saying there's a guy in a Sprinter van that made it, so I'm going to give it a shot. I forgot my recovery boards. I don't think I'll need them based on I watched a bunch of videos on it. Doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to air the tires. The plan is to air the tires down to 20. Go slow. Take it easy. You know. Again, I got the posi in the rear, so both those wheels are turning. I got 4 low. I can put it in. Drop the transmission to 2. Plenty of torque there, gripping and everything else. I should be golden. And then the plan is to spend 2 or 3 days out there, hang out with this really cool YouTuber. You guys know her. You'll meet her in the next video. And have a nice little trip. Little trip. Should be fun. I'm going to get an all-over body tan, but don't worry, I can't show it on YouTube. And even though I know a lot of you are begging for it, you're really just here so you can catch a glimpse of my naked ass. It ain't going to happen. I did that video like 3 years ago in Texas, how to do a field shower, and I didn't think I really showed anything. But YouTube took it down and they flagged me for it. Although you can go on YouTube right now and type in naked yoga and see a whole lot of naked people completely nude, full frontal and everything. So I don't know. You know, it's a weird thing on there. Maybe you can't monetize those videos. Maybe that's what it is. But anyhow, I wanted to give you guys a good rundown on what's going on. My MPGs really weren't bad on this trip. I don't feel like. When I was burning gas, like really gulping it, that was my bad. It was me on purpose, going too fast, up hills, trying to get around people. But for the most part on this trip, I was pretty mellow. You got to put yourself in that mindset and just cruise, let people pass you, don't worry about it. But this van is no joke. Now, I forget the transmission is 460 LE, I think. It's a 4-speed transmission. It is a new transmission. It's a few years old for me. I probably got 30,000 miles on it now, so I want to do a service, replace the filter and everything. But I keep thinking about upgrading this van beyond this. You know, I've got 211,000 miles on it. According to this, there's probably more than that because I drove for a year with big tires without adjusting the computer. Call it 220,000 miles maybe. But my compression's good. They're all pretty equal. Things got plenty of power. I've only hurt myself as far as top end because of the large tires. If I kept a 30-inch tire on this thing, I'd be cruising 90 all day again with no problems. Again, my advice to you who are watching my videos and you're going to do the 4x4 and you want to do a lift, stick with the 30-inch tire, especially if you got the 342 gearing. That was a good setup for me. I got really good fuel economy, and I got good fuel economy at that time with all kinds of old parts. Like, this thing's new. All the sensors are new and everything now, so I'd say stick with your 342s, go with a 30-inch tire, do a lift, do the conversion, and you'll be golden. And that's just right for this truck. Now, because I've done everything else I've done already, if things keep going well and I keep making money with work, depending, because now there's this house I got to figure out and everything else, but I could see putting a V8 in this thing. And if I do that, I know the V8s will bolt up to this transmission, but I'm going to investigate or look into a I don't know enough about it, but I will. I didn't know anything about an Astro van until I got one, and now I got like a PhD in Astro van, right, George? So there's probably a 5 or a 6 speed or more transmission out there that I could bolt onto an aluminum LS engine, and I want an engine that I can get to the injectors from the top, so those are easy to service. And now you got yourself something really special. You got more horsepower, better fuel economy, and it's going to be better in the power band and everything else because you'll have more gears in the transmission. So basically, the idea is kind of turn this thing into a modern ride. And I'll tell you something about this van. This is just my opinion, but I think most of you that are here probably agree with it, especially if you have one. I'm driving by the new Broncos and a lot of other modern vehicles. I think that the look of this van right now, with the ride height that it sits at, with the bigger wheels on it, I think this thing stylistically, aesthetically, holds up in 2023. I think I put this van next to brand new vehicles now, especially, I'm talking about off-roadable vehicles, right? SUV type things. This thing looks cool still, in my opinion. So I got that going for it. Beat myself up, man. I didn't sleep the other night, and I've been having a good time, let's say. Anyhow, thanks again for being here. Now you know the 410 gears, 32-inch tires, what my situation is. It's not bad. I don't want to go yet. There's this guy, Dan Greck, and he does overlanding all over the planet. And drop down to 35 miles an hour. And one of his criteria for an international overlanding rig is getting 20 miles per gallon or better. But the thing is, and he has responded to me before, and I haven't asked him this yet, but I need to do it. 20 miles per gallon or more at what speed? What speed are you talking about, man? Right? Because as I've said, if I'm doing 40 to 55 in that range, I'm getting 20 or more, 30 sometimes, miles per gallon. So that's what I need to know, because the MPGs going the shitter on this thing when, you know, you're going over 65 in particular, you're climbing mountains at that speed, and there's crazy winds at the same time. So that's what I want to know. I don't know, it's one thing I haven't researched yet. If you're international overlanding, are you pretty much doing less than 60 a lot of the time? Are you keeping it in the 45 to 50 mile an hour zone? Because if that's the fact, then this is a pretty good international overlanding vehicle. So I'm pulling into Seligman right now. Anyhow, I'm still going to sign off. I'll catch you guys next time. The next one will be fun. I may or may not have clothes on.